It was a quiet spring morning in Lansdowne Station, Nova Scotia, the kind of dawn that carries promise. Pink lights spilled over the treetops, birds sang from hidden perches, and dew clung to the grass. But on May 2nd, 2025, that tranquility was shattered. Somewhere between 8:48 a.m. and 9:10 a.m., 6-year-old Lily Sullivan and her 4-year-old brother Jack slipped away from the safety of their home, leaving behind only the faint echo of a barking dog and their distant laughter. The next thing anyone knew, the children were gone, vanished into the dense woodland that surrounds the rustic mobile home of their stepfather, Daniel Martel, and step-grandmother, Janie Mackenzie. Mackenzie, 59, recalls the morning with painful clarity. She had dozed off on the couch in her small trailer, phone pressed to her ear as she spoke to her brother for about 2 minutes. At 8:48 a.m., she drifted into a light sleep, thinking of nothing more alarming than the birds outside. Then, her dog, always a vigilant guardian, began to bark sharply. In that moment, Mackenzie stirred, recognizing that Lilly and Jack must have slipped outside to play on the wooden swing set she'd built for them only months earlier. She heard their voices, bright and carefree. And then, nothing. The silence that followed was more terrifying than any cry for help. Within seconds, she heard her son's voice ringing out across the yard, calling Lily, and then Jack. Snapshot screen doors, the jangle of keys, her own heart pounding in her ears. These were the only sounds until she rushed outside, boots thudding against the porch steps, and found her daughter-in-law, Malahia Brooks-Murray, standing wide-eyed in the driveway with her 1-year-old daughter on her hip. "They were gone," Brooks-Murray said in a trembling voice. "They were just gone." What followed was a frantic scramble into the woods, where towering pines and tangled underbrush concealed every possible clue. Mackenzie wrapped her arms around the tree trunks she'd known for decades, calling out until her voice cracked. Searchers scoured every inch of the property and beyond. Mounties with bloodhounds, volunteers with handheld lanterns, search and rescue teams by drone and helicopter. They combed the swing set, the sandbox, and the edges of Daniel's well, all to find only 2 curious boot prints and a small fragment of a pink blanket that the family later confirmed belonged to Lily. In the 11 weeks since that fateful morning, nearly a dozen Royal Canadian Mounted Police units, from the local detachment in Pictou County to the Nova Scotia Major Crime Unit, with help from counterparts in New Brunswick and Ontario, have investigated every lead. Police have reviewed more than 5,000 video files from doorbell cameras, traffic cams, and dash-mounted recorders in Lansdowne Station and nearby communities. They've sifted through over 600 public tips, interviewed more than 60 people, and administered polygraph tests to those closest to the case, including Martel, who, police say, passed. Yet, despite an intensive investigation and promises that no door will remain closed, the mystery endures. Mackenzie, who has lived on the property for 26 years, has watched her peaceful life erupt into chaos. On that first day, Mounties and reporters descended upon her gravel driveway in unmarked SUVs, their cameras trained on the swing set she'd lovingly constructed. Drones buzzed overhead like angry hornets, and neighbors whispered rumors that cut as sharply as winter winds. Some suspected she or her son of wrongdoing, accused them in online forums and private messages that Mackenzie discovered on her front step mailbox. "My life has been turned upside down," she says, her voice cracking. "I had nothing to do with any of this. I want Lily and Jack back just as much as everyone else does." That longing is echoed across the tight-knit community of Lansdowne Station. A handful of families live along the winding country road, separated by fields of barley and thick forests that once greeted the children as a playground but now feel ominous and unknowable. Volunteers from neighboring towns have organized candlelight vigils under starry skies. A GoFundMe page has surpassed its initial $10,000 goal, funneling donations towards search party fuel costs and equipment rentals. On social media, the hashtag #FindLillyandJack has trended, with thousands sharing flyers and phone numbers in hopes of sparking a break in the case. Yet every new tip so far turns cold. One caller claimed to have seen 2 children matching Lily and Jack's descriptions near a gas station 30 kilometers away, but surveillance footage from that morning showed only adults. Another reported hearing faint cries from a disused mine shaft on the edge of the forest, but a search failed to uncover any sound equipment or evidence. Investigators canvassed the waterway that threads through the woods, fearing the worst, but found no trace. It's as though the siblings simply vanished into the Nova Scotia wilderness without a single farewell. Through it all, Mackenzie has been an open book, desperate to help the RCMP untangle the truth. When an officer first tried to enter her trailer, seeking permission to dust surfaces for fingerprints, she stopped him, not out of suspicion but because of her dog. "Just let me reel him in first," she told him, apologizing as the canine settled at her feet. In the days that followed, she and her husband, a contractor who often works out of province, provided full access to every corner of the property. Beneath the mobile home, inside the septic tank, behind the well, even the wooded trails they thought they knew by heart. "We've been cooperative because we want answers," she says. "I blame myself for not getting up that morning. If I had, maybe this wouldn't have happened." Her sorrow is palpable when she speaks of the swingset, once a place of joy, now a haunting reminder. Painted blue and festooned with a sandbox below, it sat just a few steps from her trailer. She remembers Lilith's twinkling eyes as she soared on the swing, Jack's stitches of laughter echoing against the pine trunks. Now those swings hang motionless, the sand stirred only by passing foxes. Mackenzie has resisted taking them down, fearing that dismantling the set would feel like erasing her grandchildren's presence. "It's the last place I saw them," she whispers. "I can't let go of that." In recent weeks, the RCMP's updates have grown sparse, fueling worries that momentum on the investigation has stalled. Mackenzie and Martel say they once received regular briefings but now hear little beyond a weekly voicemail from a designated family liaison officer. They long for transparency, qualities they believe could both sustain public interest and spur fresh leads. "The search felt urgent at first," Mackenzie says, voice tight. "Now it feels like they've moved on. But Lilly and Jack are still missing." Outside the legal and logistical challenges, a darker force has taken root: rumor and speculation. Online detectives have combed through satellite imagery, personal social media accounts, and archived local news in search of any clue. Podcasters have devoted entire episodes to unsolved mysteries of rural Canada, mentioning Lansdowne Station in their titles. Conspiracy theories range from traffickers using the children for ransom to wild notions of alien abduction. Mackenzie has heard it all and dismisses it with a weary shrug. "These kids are in the real world," she insists. "They're not part of someone's sci-fi script. They need to come home." Meanwhile, the RCMP has emphasized that it is following every lead, no matter how unlikely. In a recent statement, spokesperson Corporal Carly McCann confirmed that the pink blanket fragment seized on day one is undergoing forensic examination, and that family confirmation ties it to Lilly. "Our efforts remain intensive," McCann said. "We have not closed any doors on the possibility that Lilly and Jack are still alive." Those words offer a flicker of hope to a family clinging to what ifs. What if the children wandered onto a neighbor's property? What if they encountered someone who sheltered them? What if, after weeks in the woods, they come walking out, unscathed and ready to return home? To keep that hope alive, Lansdowne Station's residents have organized renewed search events. On weekends, groups fan out along new routes, carrying GPS trackers and marking off grids. They retrace the paths Mackenzie knows by memory, the hidden game trails Lilly and Jack used, the slight depressions where deer cross, the log bridges that straddle the creek. They bring fresh eyes and energy, praying for any sign. A flattened patch of grass, a hastily discarded snack wrapper, a footprint that matches a child's shoe size. Each search ends as the sun dips below the horizon. No reunion yet, but also no concession. Back at the Sullivan property, the atmosphere is tense but determined. Mackenzie has painted a wooden sign, "We want Lilly and Jack home," and placed it by the mailbox, a plea to every passerby. Daniel Martel has installed additional lights and cameras around the yard, hoping to catch any nocturnal movement. They've hired a private investigator on a retainer, adding another layer of scrutiny to the RCMP's work and keeping pressure on the case. "We're not giving up," Martel says, eyes steeled. "Every day we don't find them, I wake up thinking about those innocent smiles." The broader Pictou County community has rallied too. The RCMP's Northeast Nova Major Crime Unit has set up a permanent tip line, staffed around the clock, and offers anonymity to those who come forward. Posters adorn local businesses, community halls, and digital billboards. Lilith's bright smile beside Jack's curious gaze, followed by a plea, "Have you seen us? Call 9028965060. Council meetings allocate funds for additional search and rescue training, while local churches hold weekly prayer vigils, candles flickering in solidarity. Even the county fair, an annual celebration of rural life, now includes a moment of silence for the missing children. National attention has only grown louder. News outlets across Canada have profiled the case, drawing parallels to other unsolved disappearances in remote regions and reigniting debates about rural safety, the adequacy of small detachment resources, and the psychological toll on families. Experts weigh in. Criminologists caution against jumping to conclusions, while wilderness survival specialists outline the slim odds of unaccompanied children surviving outside temperatures and wildlife. Each segment amplifies the sense of urgency and the stakes. 2 young lives dangling in uncertainty, with time running out. Against that backdrop, Mackenzie clings to one fragile belief: that Lilly and Jack are still out there somewhere, waiting to be found. She fills a blue plastic bin with peanut butter sandwiches and granola bars, trail snacks she remembers her grandchildren loved, and leaves it by the swing set, just in case. She hires a glider to tow a banner over the nearby highway, reading, "See Lilly and Jack? Call 9028965060. She even contacts a paranormal investigator who uses infrared cameras and EVP, electronic voice phenomena, equipment, hoping that any voice, however distant, might register on the recorder. Some might call these acts desperate. To Mackenzie, they are lifelines. As summer edges toward fall, the forest grows thicker, the underbrush lusher, and the shadows longer, making every search more challenging. Yet Mackenzie and her family press on. They organize a back-to-school outreach, giving free backpacks and school supplies to children in Pictou County under Lilly and Jack's names, ensuring their faces remain in public view. They launch a scholarship fund for local youth in the siblings' honor, promising that if the children return, they will have a chance at education and opportunity. Through it all, one question haunts every dream. What happened between the last bark of the dog and the first frantic yell for Lilly? Was it a simple misadventure, a wrong turn down a hidden path, or something more sinister, a stranger seen only fleetingly in passing? Investigators have explored abduction, accidental entrapment in a culvert, and even misidentified video footage from miles away. Yet no single theory holds firm. For every theory disproven, 2 more emerge. Even so, the community's resolve has not faltered. Pictou County's cold winds may bite, and the woods may seem impenetrable, but in the hearts of those who love Lilly and Jack, there exists a warmth not easily quelled. Candles burn at both ends of the driveway, and a stuffed bunny sits on the swing set, a guardian for 2 absent children. Prayer blankets knitted by neighbors drape the fence, each stitch a silent promise not to forget. As you watch this unfolding story, remember that it is not just another news item. It is about 2 small lives caught in a riddle of nature and circumstance, a family's unyielding hunt through brush and rumor, and a community's pledge: we will not rest until these young souls come home. If you have any information, no matter how small, please contact the Northeast Nova RCMP Major Crime Unit at 9028965060 or submit a tip anonymously through Crime Stoppers. Every detail matters. Every moment counts. And if you believe in holding fast to hope, please subscribe to our channel and ring the notification bell. Join us as we chronicle every search, every lead, and every step toward the day when Lilly and Jack's laughter will once again fill the morning air of Lansdowne Station. Because until they are found, the story continues, and with your help, it must have a happy ending.